Morning.
When's your birthday? Out!
Thieving kids.
Dog.
This is something I have to do myself.
When Nicholas Angel, a skilled London cop transferred to a crime-free village, and realizes that something isn't quite right as a string of bizarre accidents occurs, with the spirit of justice and the help of a local police officer, he tries to uncover a huge lie and a dark conspiracy that threatens the safety of the entire village. Can they do it? Today, we will recap a story of a 2007's movie, Hot Fuzz. Nicholas Angel is an excellent police officer in London. He has caught more criminals than any other officer and is always trying to improve himself through training. However, his fellow officers are jealous of his success, so they make sure he gets promoted and transferred to a small village called Sanford, the lowest crime rate in the country. Sanford is a very quiet village, just as advertised. Sergeant Angel feels sad about this. On his first night there, he sees some young people drinking alcohol in a pub and asks them to leave. When they refuse, he arrests them for causing trouble in the streets. The next day, at his first day at office, Sergeant Angel found out that one of the people he arrested last night is his new partner, Danny Butterman, who is a friendly and chubby guy. And his father is Frank, the head police officer in Sanford. Sergeant Angel meets the other police officers in the village, who are mostly friendly, except for the arrogant Andy. On her first day at work, Angel knew that the police officers in Sanford are not very good at solving crimes, even they don't care much about the law. The only group of people who seem to care about law and order in Sanford are the Neighborhood Watch Alliance, or NWA. They are a group of people who have lived in the village for a long time and are worried about the arrival of street performers and other people they see as troublemakers. The following day, at the office, Danny is more interested in hearing about Angel's time as a police officer in London. Danny is convinced that Angel's time in London was full of exciting and dangerous situations like those in American action movies such as Point Break and Bad Boys 2. For the first few days, Sergeant Angel doesn't have many exciting moments. He chases a swan that got loose, catches a thief who stole from a shop, and takes away a bunch of dangerous things that a farmer had been collecting, including an old explosive device. He also stops a local lawyer and his much younger girlfriend for driving too fast. The lawyer and his girlfriend were on their way to perform in a show, which was supposed to be a modern version of Romeo and Juliet, but it was really bad. Not long after their performance, someone wearing dark clothes and carrying a hatchet kills the two actors in a very violent way. The killer then puts the bodies of them in the road where Angel and Danny had stopped them for speeding, and makes it look like they were killed in a car accident. The car they were driving is wrecked, too. Sergeant Angel comes to the crime scene, and he was not sure this was an accident because he can't see any signs of the car broken, but the other police officers are satisfied with the accident theory. A few days after the murder, someone tells Sergeant Angel and Danny that there are some illegal weapons outside of the village. Hearing that, they go to the farmhouse along with a senior officer. The farmer speaks in a way that only senior officer can understand. After that, the farmer shows Angel a big collection of dangerous and illegal weapons that he has been hiding. The officers is shocked by how many weapons there are. They take all the weapons back to the station. To celebrate their success, Danny invites Angel to go to the local pub with him in the evening. He encourages Angel to order something stronger than his usual cranberry juice. Sergeant agrees, and after a few pints of beer, they help a local businessman named George Merchant, who has also been drinking, get back to his estate. After that, they go to Danny's place, and Danny shows Angel his impressive DVD collection. They watch some action movies like Point Break and Bad Boys 2. While they're watching, someone killed George Merchant and sets up another accident scene at George's fancy estate. In the morning, Sergeant Angel and Danny are called to the crime scene. George Merchant seems to have died, and the scene is covered in bacon and beans. But Angel doesn't believe it was an accident. He thinks it was a murder. The next day, at the station, Angel and Danny are trying to figure out what happened, but no one believes Angel when he says that George was murdered. On Saturday, the town fair takes place and Sergeant Angel is assigned to work as security. Danny asks Angel to play a shooting game and Angel agrees, and he wins a prize. During the fair, a lottery is held for some nice prizes, and Angel meets a reporter named Tim Messenger who tells him that he wants to tell him something. Tim asks Angel to meet him behind the church at 3 p.m. As Nicholas is conducting a lottery, he looked at the clock, and it was 3 p.m. He remembered his promise with Tim. Sergeant Angel runs to the back of the church immediately, but he lates. He finds Tim decapitated by a falling church roof. Frank declares it as an accident, but Angel thinks it's something else. Angel and Danny stay at the crime scene to guard it while the other police officers go home. The next day, Nicholas is angry that the other officers still believes the deaths that happened in Sanford were accidents. However, Frank assures him that they will investigate thoroughly. But Sergeant Angel decided to investigate the accidents by himself. A few days later, Angel visits a flower shop to buy a peace lily for Danny's birthday. The owner of the shop, who is known for her skills in gardening, is leaving town. She explains to Angel that she had owned some land that a businessman wanted to buy with the help of the thespians. However, after the thespians were killed, a reporter told her that her land was actually worth much more than what the businessman was offering. So, she decided to sell her shop to a developer from the city. The flower shop owner tells Angel that she knew Skinner and had a connection with him. When Nick steps out of the shop for a moment, someone dressed in a dark cloak stabs the woman with her own garden shears. Sergeant Angel tries to catch the attacker but fails, though the attacker gets injured in his leg. Angel thinks that Skinner might be behind the murder because of his involvement in the property deal and his strange behavior towards the victims. So, Nick takes the police to confront Skinner, but Angel can't prove his theory because Skinner has no wounds and the surveillance footage from his store proves he was there all day. Sergeant Angel is frustrated and about to give up on finding the killer, but he realizes that there might be multiple people involved. When he entered his hotel room, he's attacked by someone dressed in a dark cloak. Angel fights back and defeats the attacker. It turns out that the attacker is one of Skinner's employees. And Angel pretends to be the attacker when Skinner radios to check if Angel was dead. After that, Angel follows Skinner to a castle outside the village where he discovers the Neighborhood Watch Alliance. They're all wearing dark cloaks and chanting something that seems like a ritual. The Neighborhood Watch Alliance admits that they committed all the murders because they cared deeply about Sanford's reputation as the best village. Their motive had nothing to do with the property deal between the murdered individuals. They were against anything that could harm the village's status, so they killed the solicitor and his girlfriend because they were bad actors and brought shame to the village's theater company. The businessman was killed for owning a cheap-looking house, they killed the journalist for making spelling mistakes, and the flower shop owner for planning to leave the village. Angel was shocked to hear that and he attempts to apprehend the NWA members, but Frank and Danny arrive to support them. They chase Angel through the castle grounds, where he discovers the remains of previous victims. The NWA corners Angel, and Danny emerges from the group to fatally stab him. Danny then takes Angel's body and places it in the trunk of his car. Danny drove his car to bury Angel, and it turns out Sergeant Angel is still alive. Danny lets Angel go and reveals that they had staged his death using ketchup and Angel's notebook to avoid injury. However, Danny still doesn't believe that his father and the NWA are behind the murders. Angel asks Danny to come with him to arrest the NWA members, but Danny refuses it. Danny gives his car key to Angel to leave Sanford, but Angel is inspired to return to Sanford after watching the action movies. He went to the supermarket and bought glasses, and he came back to Sanford in the morning. At first, he beat up an old couple in a farm and handcuffed them. After that, he takes weapons from the police evidence room and confronts the NWA members in the town square. The NWA members were surprised to see Sergeant Angel's return, but they weren't scared because they are equally armed, but Angel manages to defeat them with the help of Danny, who joins the fight. At the pub owned by NWA members, Angel and Danny are surrounded by Frank and other officers in riot gear. However, Angel convinces the officers that he's on their side. Frank gets angry and leaves. And then, they head to the supermarket to catch Skinner, but his employees resist and he manages to flee with Frank. After defeating Skinner's employee, Angel and Danny chase Frank and Skinner. Skinner and Frank crash their car, Angel and Danny run after them. Angel and Skinner fight in a small replica of the village, and Angel eventually wins by making Skinner fall and impale his chin on a model of the village church. Meanwhile, Frank tries to escape in Angel's car, but crashes into a tree when the Swan attacks him. The ambulance... Skinner survives the accident. Angel's men ask him in the city because it's now full of crime. Angel declines the offer because he has made great friends and learned to appreciate life in Sanford. However, at the police station, the final member of the NWA tries to kill Sergeant Angel, but Danny sacrifices himself and takes the bullet instead. In the subsequent pursuit, the bomb explodes and demolishes the police station. Despite the chaos, nobody dies. Danny gets promoted to sergeant, and Angel is promoted to... They continue patrolling Inspector to Sanford just like an action.
What do you think of this movie? Please share your opinion in the comments below. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more recap videos.